Ryan Day and Corey Dennis all of these questions. Like, why? At what point did you feel like that was the right thing to do? Was it just a matter of being so comfortable with the offense that you needed maybe more of a challenge, or you didn't want them to feel like you couldn't handle it? Like, what went into your thoughts that you need to know more about the offense?
I don't. I think it was just more of a want to get better. I don't think it was more of a thought. It was just I want to be the best quarterback in college football. I want to be the best quarterback, just I can be. So I think that just what goes into it. I don't think it's complicated. I think it's a simple want and need. So it's kind of, what do you want to get accomplished? You want to be the best quarterback. You want to win a national championship. You want to do all this with your teammates. And then you have to sit down and you have to say to yourself, how do I get better? And you have to kind of write out a plan. And I sit down and then a player or a person can improve on whatever they're trying to improve on by doing that. So that's what I did this offseason. I wrote down what I wanted to accomplish and how to accomplish it. And, this is just another step of the journey. So I'm excited, and it's basically it's just come to that.
Sorry about that. Next up, Bill Landis with The Athletic and Clay Hall on deck. Bill?
Hey, Justin, when did you feel like you started to progress from sort of learning the ins and outs of the offense, like learning the protections and stuff like you were saying, to being sort of on a similar level to Coach Day and maybe understanding, like, conceptually a little more what you guys were trying to accomplish?
I mean, I feel like I was, doing that during the season, but I think just the amount of confidence that I have now and the, control I have over the offense and just our players and our coaches, the tools around me, I feel more confident now where I can ask those questions and I can, broaden my knowledge in the game, where I feel as last year, yes, I was doing the same thing, but at the same time, I was making sure, I was running the right plays, getting ready for the game plan and stuff like that. So I think this offseason, I'm definitely more comfortable in my shoes, where I was able to just ask those questions to Coach Day and kind of pick his brain and do that. So I wouldn't say there's a time where I just clicked, but I mean, I do months, or I just kind of just, I'm feeling to explain it because there's really not, but I just really just felt more dedicated and passionate, like where I just want to get better, and I know the time's clicking, so I'm just, just more anxious every day until game day. So as I said, I know I've said it 10 times, but y'all don't know how excited I am to play, and I can't wait to take the field again with my brother. So I'm really excited.
Thanks, Justin.
Next up, Clay Hall with WSYX TV and Austin Ward on deck. Clay?
Hey, Justin, could you move your phone just a little bit? Your head is at the bottom of the screen, and I can barely see you. There you go.
Right,
yeah, I really
maybe
appreciate
so.
it. Just, yeah, if you can just hold it there for a minute.
All right.
How much better do you feel than when you had to carry around that brace with you against Michigan, against Clemson? It just, in the one time we've seen you in the stadium, I mean, you were fast, you were quick, you were gliding. I mean, how much better are you right now than you were back then?
I mean, I feel great. Of course, those last few games, my knee was banged up, but I mean, I feel like I've prepared me the off season. I've done my off season training to where I put myself in a great position to succeed on the field. So I feel great in terms of my knee and in terms of running. And I feel like the diet that I changed in the off season, I feel like that was a big help to it. So I feel great, and yeah, just feel ready to go.
Thanks.
Next up, Austin Ward with Letterman Row and Joey Kaufman on deck. Austin?
Hey, Justin. Chris Olave got a bunch of these questions about thinking about that last play in the Fiesta Bowl, and he said that you two never really talked about it much. How often did you think about it, and is there anything from your perspective that could have gone differently there?
I mean, I look at it like this. I have a motto that I look at life, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. So going back in that play, yeah, that play hurts and all, but I feel like that play just did nothing but made us want to get better. Now I feel like, because of that play, we worked so much harder to get to the point where we are right now. So, I mean, yeah, we didn't talk much about that play after the fact that it happened, but I feel like we didn't need to. I mean, we both know that, we messed up, and, I mean, we're all human and we all mess up. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But, just the offseason and how the way it ended, I feel like it fueled our team a lot in the offseason. So I feel like our team's ready to go. And we worked our butts off. So we're just excited we get the opportunity, and we can't wait to play.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Next up, Joey Kaufman from the Columbus Dispatch with Adam Rittenberg on deck.
Justin, I know you said you're really excited to play this season. What has it been like each Saturday? Have you been watching other games on TV? Does that leave you more kind of chomping at the bit to get at it? What's each Saturday been like for you this last few weeks?
I mean, yeah, we just usually practice in the morning, have a scrimmage, and then we go home all day and watch film. I mean, not watch film, but watch the games. But I mean, yeah, just seeing the other teams, of course, make us want to play more. But as I said before, at first we were watching these teams and not having a season. So we're just excited that we do get the opportunity to play, and maybe this time off will just give us more time to prepare. So I think people can look at it like that, or as it like, all right, let's hurry up and play. Let's hurry up and play. But we still got 2 weeks of practice left, where we have that much time to get better and that much time to improve, and that much time to focus on our first opponent. So I feel like these 2 weeks will help us get back into football mode more, and just also give us time to prepare. So I know all the guys on our team are ready to go right now. So I mean, I'm not down that, but we're just going to use these next 2 weeks to prepare for Nebraska.
Hey, Justin, before Dwayne, it had been a really long time since Ohio State had a first-round pick. And with his success and now yours, how do you think quarterbacks that are thinking about Ohio State or you and your other fellow quarterbacks view this system as far as this can help me get to the NFL and be a high-level draft pick?
I don't think it's really so much as what school you go to get drafted. I just feel like it's the coaching and, kind of what situation you're put in. But I mean, the situation I was put in, and of course the coaches, Coach Day, Coach Dennis, they do a great job with developing me and quarterbacks. And I think Coach Day is the best quarterback coach in the country. And I might be biased, but that's just truly coming from me. I think he's just one smart guy, and I've learned so much from him, and I plan on learning a lot more. So I'm just excited what the future holds. But I mean, for high school recruits, we've had a lot of success at the quarterback position, but I think it's more as what position you're put in, and kind of the coach there, and how he develops quarterbacks. And I mean, Coach Day, he's second to none. So he's a great guy and a great quarterback coach.
All right, we've got one last questioner for Justin here, for Justin rather. Colin Hasshill with 11 Warriors. Go ahead, Colin.
Hey, Justin, going a little bit off that question, was there anything that you learned in the last 8 or 9 months, whether it was talking to you directly or maybe talking to your coaches about what NFL coaches and executives wanted to see from you this season that maybe they didn't get a chance to see last year?
No, not really. I haven't really been talking to any NFL teams or anything like that. But I think just, having Coach Day's experience in the NFL, and, he's a guy that's been there before, so he knows what they're looking for and kind of, how that system works. So I think me just being by him and me learning from him daily, I think that'll prepare me enough to, I guess, make me the best football player I need to be at the end of the day. So, I mean, I think I'm fine with Coach Day, and you know, he's been there before, so he knows a lot. So I'm just gonna stick with him.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great, Justin. Thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it, and have a good afternoon and a great practice.
Appreciate you, Jerry. Appreciate you.
It's definitely a lot harder, at the quarterback position. You hope you get to see guys throw. You hope you get to, meet a guy, you get to talk to a guy, you get to speak with a guy. So, I mean, you're trying to do the best you can. Everyone's kind of adapting to this new norm with the Zoom calls and, watching things on film. But it definitely is a challenge, but, we're definitely finding ways to figure it out and just keep evaluating kids, keep meeting kids, keep talking to kids, and just trying to progress the best way we can.
Has it in any way changed what the expectations or when you want to maybe lock a kid in comparison to what you guys have done in the last two classes?
I think recruiting, as you guys know, always changes. I think that, we're definitely not going to take a guy just because we need to take a guy at this time and like, oh no, hey, it's, July 1st. But I mean, we're definitely going to do what's best for Ohio State, what's best for the quarterback room. So.
Next up, Patrick Murphy from 24/7 Sports. Patrick?
Hey, Corey. I know obviously the big story this year is Justin and what he's able to do, but you guys you are likely going to need to replace him after this season, and definitely down the road. With the two freshmen you have, how much do you balance getting Justin ready and as good as possible, but also having them ready for whenever it is that they need to step in and be the next guy?
Yeah, that's a good question, but in our reality, it's definitely different times. I would say just kind of in the past, guys would prepare to be backups, right? Guys were, hey, who's the next backup? What can you do to be the backup? But I mean, we've all seen it. We've seen it with Cam Newton in the NFL. Right now, you truly have to prepare like you're the starter because there is no, you don't know when your number's called. So it's not like the old school. A guy got dinged up on a play or whatever it is. I mean, it truly could happen tomorrow. And so everyone in that room is going to prepare like they're the starting quarterback at Ohio State.
Are you seeing that from the two freshmen?
Yeah, absolutely. Every single day they come in and they work hard, they grind. Not only the two freshmen, but, Gunnar Hoak, he's been around for a while. He's seen a lot of football. He knows our offense in and out. But, everybody's preparing and everybody's going to be ready to go if their number's called.
Thanks, Corey.
Yep.
Next up, Spencer Holbrook from Letterman Row with Mark Snyder on deck. Spencer?
Hey, Corey, when Justin talks to Ryan and those meetings happen, what's the biggest difference that you see focus level? Is it the focus level? Is it just attention to detail? Like he seems so not flawless, but just, in his approach last year, what's the biggest leap that he's taken that you've seen so far?
Yeah, no, I mean, I can keep saying it, but it's definitely interesting times, right? We had a little bit more time than we've had in the past, just being able to meet and being able to talk. But I mean, you're right. Like the guy is polished. And the thing about Justin is he wants to be great. He wants to be the best. He's not going to leave any stone unturned. He wants to know why we're doing this, what's the read. And he's truly going to be prepared versus, just knowing our offense, but he wants to know what everybody else is doing, what our offensive line's doing on run plays, what the opposing defenses are going to do. So, I mean, he's definitely, he's all in. He's ready to go. And I mean, his preparation levels, it's through the roof right now.
Next up, Mark Snyder from Press Pros with Brendan Gulick on deck. Mark. All right, we're going to move on to Brendan Gulick with Buckeyes Now on SI and Dave Biddle on deck. Brendan?
Hey, Corey, thanks for taking some time with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want to ask you a little bit about Justin's, maybe the amount of time that he's put in from the concept that everybody hears, hey, 10,000 hours is how you perfect your craft. Maybe it's hard to specify where you think he is along that time, that process, but obviously he's been putting in the work to get there. If you could maybe pinpoint certain things that he's done along the way where you've seen, hey, Justin really made an improvement here, and I can see it's because he's been repping that, he's been watching that film. It just give me an idea a little bit about the 10,000 hours idea with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think really what it is just, his preparation level and, how he truly doesn't want to leave a stone unturned, right? So, I mean, he's just from any aspect. So I just think the way that he's come out, he's approached it, not only just, we've had some time where, the season was canceled, where we couldn't really worry about, or it was postponed and we couldn't worry about who we were playing. So he had more time to kind of focus on himself, focus on Ohio State's offense. But then, I mean, as soon as we found out our schedule within, an hour, he and I are texting about, who we play, what their defense is. And I mean, that just kind of shows what type of kid he is and what kind of grind he has right now.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, guys. Next up, Dave Biddle, 24/7 Sports with Bill Rabinowitz on deck. Dave?
Hey, Corey, another question about the freshman quarterbacks. How are CJ and Jack Miller coming along, and is one of them a little bit ahead of the other right now?
No, I mean, they're both doing really well. They both have good days. They both have bad days. But, I mean, those guys are grinders. They're both extremely talented. They're both, they're really diving in, want to know the offense. And in all reality, they have a great, guy to look up to, right, in Justin Fields. So they know, hey, look, if you're not preparing as hard as this guy, then can you truly be where he is in the future? So, I mean, Justin's a great example, and those guys are trying to do everything that he does.
Presuming Justin's the starter, massive assumption on my part. You guys had a game tomorrow. Who would be your number 2 quarterback?
I think that's something that, we'd evaluate, Coach Day and myself, Coach Wilson, we'd all go in and we talk about it, but, let's just hope that we get to keep Justin Fields.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Next up, Bill Rabinowitz, the Columbus Dispatch with Tim May on deck. Bill?
Hi, Corey. Kind of a broad question, but can you kind of give a brief little scouting report on Gunnar as well as CJ and Jack and where they are in their development right now?
Yeah, I mean, Gunnar Hoak, first off, I mean, he's a guy who's been around. I mean, he's been at, he's seen a different college offense before. So, I mean, he's seen a lot of football. He's extremely talented. He's kind of the older guy in the group, obviously. And then, Jack and CJ, I mean, they're literally just, floor to the pedal to the metal, just trying to learn everything they can, try to soak it in. And just, they're both doing an unbelievable job. All three of those guys are just doing a great job, and they're really grinding. And like I said earlier, everyone has to prepare like you're the starter.
How confident or comfortable would you be if one of those three had to go in and play tomorrow?
Oh, we'd be ready to go. There's no doubt. They'd be ready to go. They know the offense, but they're continuing to get better. They're continuing to grow and learn. They know that they're not where they need to be, but they're definitely grinding every single day and getting where they want to go.
Thanks, Corey.
Next up, Tim May from the Tim May podcast and Letterman Row with Nathan Barrett on deck. Tim?
Thank you very much. Hey, Corey, what is it like to have a quarterback like Justin Fields, though, that you can have these almost next level kind of conversations, I would think right now, about the offense? What joy does that bring to a coach in terms of like communication, et cetera?
Oh, no, I mean, it's definitely unbelievable. The guy comes off the sidelines in a practice and, you ask him what he saw in that play, and he's not just talking about, one thing. He's telling you what the coverage was, what the blitz was. You can, make in-game adjustments. I mean, having a guy like that's invaluable.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Next up, Nathan Baird with Cleveland.com and Dan Hope on deck. Nathan?
Hey, Corey, where are you still playing catch up the most, I guess, for the lack of a better term, with the two freshman quarterbacks, considering the not getting to have a full spring any other time that you might have missed with them in the offseason?
I think that you would just say that it's the actual live reps, right? Like you can only, I mean, we've done a great job. Those guys are grinding in the Zoom meetings and, things like that. And you can talk about it and you can show film and you can show diagrams and, you can kind of whatever walk through or step through. But I mean, it's just the actual live reps. I mean, those are definitely things that are hard to come by.
Next up, Dan Hoak with 11 Warriors and Tony Girdman on deck. Dan?
Hey, Corey, what's been the biggest challenge for you just being a first-year quarterback coach and having to deal with all these different challenges this offseason while bringing in two new quarterbacks?
That's a great question. I mean, I think that, this year's been a challenge a little bit for everybody, right? With the pandemic, not having spring ball, not having, those type of things, not being able to work out with your guys really in the summer. So, I mean, those things were obviously a challenge, but, our guys handled it well. They were, the way that they prepared and, tried to treat our meeting, the Zoom calls like our meeting room. I mean, those guys did a great job, and I don't know if we could have asked anything more of those guys.
And specific to those two freshmen, what are the biggest ways in which you've seen each of them grow from when they got in January to where they are right now?
Well, I think really it's just knowledge of the offense, right? I mean, you guys know Ohio State, we have a pretty complex passing game. And for those guys to really just take it and learn and grow and not be overwhelmed by the entire playbook.
Thanks, Corey.
Next up, Tony Girdman with Buckeye Scoop and Bill Landis on deck. Tony?
Corey, with everything that Justin can do and everything that he wants to know, how much does he challenge you guys to not just rely on what he did last year?
I'm sorry, could you maybe say that question again or rephrase it?
How much does he challenge you as a coach? Because he can do so many things and there's levels that you can take him to. So I guess, is it freeing? Is it challenging? What's it like coaching him when there's almost no limit to, I guess, what he could do?
I mean, I think one thing it is, freeing in the sense of, maybe the playbook's open for Coach Dave, but I mean, even for a guy like myself, sure, it's challenging. Who doesn't like the challenge? Because every single day you walk in that meeting room, you better be prepared. You better have the cut-ups in order. You better have the tip sheets. You better have, you better know what you're talking about, and you better be ready to go, because it's not just, oh man, hey, let me just run in here and run this meeting. You got to prepare like you're coaching Tom Brady.
Thank you.
Next up, Bill Landis from The Athletic. Bill?
Hey, Corey. Jack Miller dealt with some injuries in high school, as you know, and he didn't play a ton, or at least he didn't play his full seasons his last couple of years in high school. So I'm just wondering, was he behind at all when he got here, and maybe how has he come along now that you've been in camp, you've got pads on? Did he had to shake any rust off or anything like that?
No, he definitely wasn't behind. I mean, he was ready to go. He dove in, and I mean, I think he was ready to go when he got here, and he's learning the playbook, learning the offense, and I mean, he's continuing to doing everything that we ask of him.
Next up, Clay Hall, WSYX TV with Austin Ward on deck. Clay?
Yeah, Coach Corey, thanks for the time. Is there something that Justin is better at physically or mechanically? Was there something that you pinpointed, or Ryan or Justin said, where do I need to raise my game?
I think that's really just, who Justin is in itself. He's never going to look at his game and say, okay, hey, I'm good there, I'm not good there. I think that, just as his game in a whole, he wanted to dive in, he wanted to get better, and he wanted to continue to grow in all aspects of the game.
So everything. I mean, there wasn't one thing, footwork, release.
No, he came in and he wants to get better. So I don't think that, he, from all aspects, he tried to improve, and that's just kind of guy he is. He's a grinder.
Is it more intellectual than physical of where he's made a jump?
I wouldn't say he made a jump, intellectually. I mean, the guy's always been a smart guy. That's never not been the case. I mean, he's always, understood the offense. He's always, been able to handle everything. So that's definitely wasn't the case. But I just think in all aspects, he just tried to get better, and we had a little more time than we've had in the past.
Okay, thanks.
Time for a couple more questions for Corey. Next up, Austin Ward with Letterman Row and Joey Kaufman on deck. Austin?
Hey, Corey, I know this is a little bit of a hypothetical, but when you look at, let's just say you have some second half reps in a blowout game and Gunner's a veteran, he won't be around long term. Would you rather give some of those reps to your number two or try and get those to the freshman wherever possible? Have you thought at all about what you guys want to accomplish if you get that situation?
I don't know that we've really sat down and thought about it, but I think that, long term, we're going to do what's best for, just Ohio State for that year and just continue to grow guys and continue to get guys better. But to say that we thought about it, no, we haven't.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Next up, Joey Kaufman with Columbus Dispatch, and we'll end with Adam Rittenberg with ESPN. Joey?
Corey, specifically with Gunnar Hoak, this being his second year in your guys' system, how big of a difference does that make for him, and what have you noticed for him in particular over the last 12 months?
Yeah, no, for sure. Anytime that you're in the offense, for the second year, getting to be around this verbiage and things like that, that's definitely a benefit to you. But I mean, Gunner's, he's smart. He knows our offense. He's a great player. He is a great leader. He's one of those guys too that, the young guys can kind of look up to and see the way that things are supposed to be handled. So Gunner's, extremely valuable to have.
Hey, Corey, just during your time there, and especially in this role, how do you think quarterbacks are looking at being a quarterback at Ohio State, and especially how this system can help prepare them for the draft in the NFL?
Yeah, I think that, this system is definitely pretty similar to an NFL's passing game type system. I think that, I kind of walked through when I heard Justin Fields talking, but he and I are both in agreement that, Coach Day is arguably one of the best quarterback coaches in the United States of America, right? What he does with the offense is unbelievable. How he, takes care of his quarterbacks is unbelievable. And ultimately, when you have a play caller who is also, the head coach and who is also has a quarterback background, that's unbelievably valuable for a quarterback.
Corey, thank you so much for your time today and for meeting with our media. And have a great afternoon and an excellent practice. And folks, we'll be back here.